Ho, ho, yo, yo. HFR from the floor. Mistrade, Matt Davio suspended on a somewhat permanent basis. Coming to you live, not in Memorex. This is Market Vitals. It's our show. MarketVitals.io is our portal, our community. Good morning, Matt. Happy Monday to you.
Happy pre-Memorial Monday. How's that?
Matt, I got to jump right to it. I couldn't recommend a book more than hold on a second. Integral Principles of the Structural Dynamics of Flow by Leslie Claret. Matt, Leslie Claret, a fantastic engineer. And actually he's fictitious. He's a fictional engineer from the great Amazon Prime series, The Patriot, Matt. I think this is from like 2017. Anyway, Matt, to prevent Iran from going nuclear, intelligence officer John Tavner must forego all safety nets and assume a perilous, non-official cover, that of a mid-level employee at a Midwestern industrial piping firm. Matt, it's all about getting something from A to B. It seems fairly simple, right? If you're building out, an oil delivery pipeline, you just got to get the oil from A to B. What could go wrong? Well, actually, an infinite number of things can go wrong. Just like we saw this weekend in the PGA golf tournament. Golf is a great analyze or depiction of this. And so is society at large, as we see, as the World Economic Forum commences their narrative session today. I got some things to say about that. But first, let's talk getting from A to B, Matt. You go 4 rounds. You just need to put one in the fairway on 18. And you're a young buck, and you can't do it. It's harder than people think. And most anything to just go from A to B seems simple.
There's a lot of pressure on those tee boxes. I can't imagine. Like, I felt it in a, country club final, so I can't even imagine.
And man, the swing and the replay, he almost fell down.
He melted. He
almost fell down. And then Justin Thomas, I saw some great threads today about, how important having a seasoned caddy is to walk your emotions through that, because he shot 67 Thursday and Friday in tough conditions, and then, melted down on Saturday.
Yep.
And he kept it together.
But then found the resolve that, he had another 18 holes, and it looked like it too. It was kind of like that horse in the Derby that won it. Like, he came out of nowhere and just slowly plodded along and nosed him at the end, right? I mean, that's how it felt with the three-hole playoff, and our boy Will once again, right there. Dude, I mean, it's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking.
And most heartbreaking was his bogey on 16, because he makes that 5-footer.
It's over.
He wins the tournament.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. So it was fun to watch, though. And again, like PGA out of all the majors, back when it was in like August, I never cared. I was like, I'm done with golf. Like, season.
Right. No, I think it was a fantastic narrative marketing for them to move it up.
Yeah, this is the second year they've done that, right? Back to back.
Yeah.
The 2 years. And it's good, because I think people are sick of golf by August. Now you got the US Open for Father's Day, and then you got 4th of July British Open. Then you're done.
Then it was full on NFL.
Then you're into NFL, right?
A to B.
Then Davey Boy's back in business, or so he thinks.
All right, man. We got breaking news. Let's just remember this. I just saw a tweet and a poll of how much you trust mainstream media. And we got this is to pick. I love it because they do this all the time, right? Yeah. It's file footage. They take one picture or one video, some protest, they crop it so it looks like there's 1,000 people there and there's 7, or they take a picture of monkeypox so you can start freaking out. But actually it was a picture of shingles.
They should have taken a picture maybe of George Michael and Boy George or something, since it seems to be
I mean, so this is what you deal with.
Gay men and glory holes that are getting monkeypox. I mean,
So, this from the CDC, Matt. How do you protect yourself? You throw the TV out the window.
I mean,
and don't believe a word that you hear. I'm sorry, that's where we're at.
Hold on, breaking news. Didn't you just get a text from your brother though?
Yeah, I did. And two things. My cousin in the UK, firstly, Matt, sent me this picture, and it's the first case confirmed of CROX pox. We're going to go to the CROX chart. But then also, my brother.
This is not a joke. I just did a rapid test for monkeypox, and it looks like I'm positive. I have no symptoms, so it seems very bizarre that I would be positive.
Very bizarre that he's positive with monkeypox.
Planet of the Apes.
Matt, we always struggle for content. Let's look at CROX.
CROX, we've been talking about it so long, and the 183, and it's trickling back, finding its way back to value, which begins here in the 30s, and we traded as low as 49. I think that case is hurting it a little bit today, down 0.72%.
I gotta tell you something. I just got an email from Rack Room Shoes, right?
Yeah.
And CROX has a special right now, and when I read it, I'm like, wow, that's dirt cheap for CROX. It was like $21.95, right? Well, it wasn't for CROX. It was for 5 little made in China plastic butterflies that you clip onto your CROX.
Were those from Madonna's NFT?
I think it came right out of Madonna's gooch, these butterflies, right? Because they're going to flavor your CROX with vagina scented butterflies, which are going to be all the rage. 25 or 21, 22, 25, more than $20. 5 plastic butterflies. They look like they couldn't be more than 38 cents, made in China.
That reminds me of Tony Montana. Pelican, fly, pelican.
So CROX, this is a beautiful chart, and keep an eye on every other asset that you're thinking about owning, and understand the potentiality in a right-sided market.
Yeah, and again, the COVID low happens to work out to be about the point of control at $7. I got a feeling we're going to trade there. I got a good feeling.
A to B, Matt. A to B, and beautiful. We can go there, and we can still have some face ripping rallies, even in CROX.
Yeah,
I mean, A to B is not an easy thing to. Jordan Peterson said it great. I was just watching one of his things, and he talked about the reason why it's so hard, predict A to B, is because in order to do the proper predictive modeling, you have to take everything into account. It's the inputs are infinite, and it's really hard to model with infinite inputs, nearly impossible.
Yep.
So anyway, we saw the monkeypox coming down the pipe, and pipe or pike. I'm going to stick with pipe right now because of the structural dynamics of flow. Matt, this one too. And Elon with a double exclamation point. Guess who was Hillary's CFO and has already been dinged for misappropriating expenses for the fake dossier? Oh, it's our SEC chair.
You can have that job as long as you zip it, buddy. You can have that job.
I mean, he's supposed to be the top guy in the government on ethics.
I think he's now the risk guy at Axe Capital. Remember that guy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's basically Gary Gensler now.
All right, Matt. As I said before, coming in today starts the World Economic Forum, and they politely say, as our delegates fly in today for the first day of Davos 2022, we're excited to talk about climate change.
Don't they usually do this in the winter, so they're moving it up like a full 9 months?
Yeah, exactly.
So
because people like to ski, so I guess it's just hiking.
Yeah, just hiking.
As our delegates fly in on,
and you will have your own personal Bernese Mountain Dog.
Matt, speaking of A to B, it wasn't long ago this was 2016, that this was first tweeted out from the World Economic Forum. Love the eyes that they got going on here in this graphic. I'm not sure who.
Transhumanist.
Welcome to 2030. I own nothing, have no privacy, and life has never been better. That was their A to B in 2016. Unfortunately for them, it's not that easy, Matt. It just doesn't work out. The irony of it all, climate change, we pointed it out last week. The amount of level 1 attendees at Davos coming from the Middle East and reaping the benefits. Where's crude oil today, Matt? Reaping the benefits in this climate.
Crude oil is hanging around like 110s, I want to say. That 116 number, if we can get back over that, it's off to the races.
Bring it up for a second, because there's nothing more ironic than the Davos crew, level 1ers out of the Middle East, talking about climate change, flying in on their private jets and enjoying $109 a barrel crude oil, something that you can feast on.
Yeah, 109.72. They're giving them a little discount on the fly-in today, only down 0.5%, but very bullish. This chart is very bullish. Like there's nothing, again, it's going to have to close underneath this, this level down here at 98 for me to flip stories really. And this is, we're looking at a couple months here, so. That's a good time frame to trade oil. I always find instead of trying to worry about the short term stuff. But this is not a pretty chart, or it is a pretty chart. It's just still looking like we're gonna, once we break over that 116, and that's held, by the way, a couple times. So again, we're you see it back here on the left side back in March, and then we kind of ran here just the last week up to 116, 115s again, sold off, but. It's violent. It's very violent, but it's shaking out a lot of people, but it's going to take some, strong hands for this thing to continue one way or the other. And we have not really made that, that decision has not been made by the strong hands. Apparently, the sheiks are happy about it still. As you said, they're at the forum. They don't like to ski because, it's hard to do it in a burqa.
I actually hear there's fairly good skiing in Iran.
Well, but I'm just saying it's hard to do it in a burqa.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to get the helmet under the burqa.
Yeah, so that's 61, and that's here's the thing. We went 130, then back to that 92 level. And so this 61.8 level is the golden ratio also. So not only is the area, you can see like technically why we keep banging up against this, but I think it's interesting but very bullish. I mean, bullish down to 72 when you look at a 144 chart. So, and this is a 1 year chart that we're looking at. So really nothing to see here, but power. And then the other thing, to lead into, I think our next subject, the Europeans are so hurting for oil that they're transacting in rubles now, Bob.
Yeah. Let's bring up the ruble chart because
Germany is like buying.
The administration would have
so much for the sanctions. Like, why isn't Biden jumping on the Germans, because they're buying oil in rubles? I'm just saying, like, which one is it? What are we doing here? What are we? What's the game? We've made a new high. I mean, we made a new high. Here's the ruble today. 1644. 1644.
16 cents to the dollar.
Yep. And if I was looking at a long-term chart also before we came on, and I think you'll find this kind of interesting. I mean, we're taking out, we'd already took out the COVID highs. Like we talked about that before too. That was here, that was those 14 cents, 14.6. Now we're taking out, January 30 highs. This thing is, it's got legs. It's bullish. It is bullish. And by the way, the dollar over this time has fallen hard. We didn't talk about it, but the dollar did ping 95 or 105, excuse me. And I was looking this morning, I think it's back in the 92s. So let's take a look at that chart also, because that, might offer another dip buy opportunity when it comes to the dollar. Yeah, we're down here to 102.23 or so. So that thing's gotten sold off hard, because we did hit 105 last week. And again, here is the high here, 105 and change. That was that was 13th is when that was, it looks like, Bob. Yep, 13th. So today is the 24th, 24th. So
23rd is today.
23rd,
Yeah,
excuse me.
right. We're
But
losing
you know,
a day.
this is looking might be able to fall back, you know, but the lower end of values down here 100. Maybe we have to shake them all the way out, a 5% shakeout.
You know what? Let me share too on this, because this is a great little nuance here.
Yep.
On standard deviation trading. And so this is the daily fractal. You see, right? We put in a nice top. We've rolled it over. We got lower sloping standard deviation lines, lower sloping potential. But then you got to fractal out, because on the short term, it's turned negative. The 3-day, you had a level at 100. The 3-day, that lower momentum level with positive slope. Mind the slope. Positive slope comes in at the same level. So I mean, it can break all the way to 100 and it's still positive on that 3-day fractal. It's positive looking. In fact, you love buying these breaks. And on the weekly average is in the same ballpark, 170. So for sure, it looks like the dollar wants to pull back some. All healthy, raging bull markets and bear markets do. They pull back. As long as the slope stays and respects to the upside, this is still an incredibly bullish chart. So short term, yeah. And if you hadn't take profits, you were a slob, because of you should have for sure taken, as we talked about it, into this double top. You let some run, you see some weakness on a lower time frame, for sure. You got to be taking profits now, and should have this morning. Over the last 2 days, as you've seen this momentum level round, that momentum standard deviation modeling, you see the slope turn negative. That's not that's less healthy on this fractal. I just wanted to point that out. One time frame leads to another. Weakness turns to strength, strength turns to weakness, and it fractals on time frames. Pay attention to it, man. Be aware of it. Same with these longer term levels on a profile. Highs and lows of value, points of control. You got to start navigating from these data points if you want to stay alive and trading. That's how you get from A to B, Matt, in the structural dynamics of flow. It is not a straight line, and there's an infinite number of inputs, and it's hard to model that. That's why you got to model in real time. That's the only way to do it. Yep,
absolutely, Bob. I mean, this market, again, Monday, holiday week, end of the month. I don't like these weeks. I don't like, they're not a favorite of mine. Again, we've, kind of once you get past Wednesday, you're at the whims of of the wind, so to speak. So, I would just recommend people take it easy this week and not overdo it.
Matt, capital preservation is another. I mean, you can't be so cautious and so protective of your capital that you don't take any risk.
Right.
But again, that's part of the metric. That's part of the trading psychology and strategy that you need to deploy.
Well, and if you look at this, you look at the volume today, Bob, and we've been, we talked about it Friday on the show. Are they going to kick save it? Well, they did. But did they really? I mean, yeah, the SPOOs have taken out Friday's highs, and they're up 180 points from the lows, 3,800 up to 3,980. But you're just coming back into the belly. Matter of fact, 3,985, I think, was the 61.8 on this move. Just the move from the low, or from the high of 40.80 here. I'll bring it up real quick just so you can see this. That's what I'm talking about. The SPOOs went from 40.80, what was it, 48.94 or so here, just about last Tuesday, all the way down here to 38.07, which is a new low. And then today, after this huge, I mean, this is not small. I mean, that's a bear market face ripper, right? If you were shorting in the hole here, which we recommended you don't, 3,800 probably we said would hold, and it did. So, but now if you're long, you got to take the profits. Like, you've had a good run. You've had a really nice run. You've been lucky. You timed it. And I would just say that you've got to, you really have to be careful out there, because this is not your dad's bull market. This is not the bull market of 2020, 21 again. Like, we're not going back to that. So you got to get that out of your brains. If you're an ape on the whole, GameStop, and again, like, I was thinking about this Melvin Capital. How does a short fund blow up right now when everything's been going down?
I believe me, one of the great mysteries,
including
of our time.
AMC, including GME. Like if you've been short anything, you're making money. So like I don't understand this whole thing is another weird part of the story to me. Like I really don't understand it, Bob. I don't know what your thoughts. If you have any thoughts on that, I'd love to hear them. But
I don't. But
it's
I do.
strange, right?
It is incredibly strange. But again, let me share. Let me share this the ruble chart again, because Vlad since the invasion and the sanctions is twice as rich, more than twice as rich in rubles than he was.
Mhm.
How are the sanctions working exactly? And the other thing that's incredible for me in this chart, like you see 2-3 years of that chart, incredibly stable, and sideways. Why wouldn't it go to 32 now? You want to talk about GameStop? I mean, you got the fundamentals behind this. You got a giant part of the world that needs Russian oil,
and we're not even preparing.
You know, Matt, 100 million barrels a day. That's what the world consumes.
Yeah.
100 million barrels a day. Where are you getting it from? Were you going to squeeze other oil turnips?
Well, because if you don't, your people, revolt like they are in Sri Lanka, where they have no oil, no money, and they're going to take your heads off. And this is the precarious position that Europe is in first. And again, we're already seeing it. We've seen it in many Asian, rising cultures where this, they are planted democratic leaders of these countries. Like, we're doing this too. Like we put our people in there. Now they're being overthrown. Like this should be a warning to the elites. And I think it is. And I think that's why they've moved up Davos from the winter months to the spring months, because they're freaking desperate. I mean, we're not making this up. Like they're desperate. Hurry up, fly in, you 3,000 elites. Come on in here. Woo! Like, what do you think? How much press is covering those meetings right now?
I got to tell you too, because I was completely unaware of the greater agenda in the WEF. I used to watch it on CNBC. Maria would always be over there interviewing, yep. And you see people like her who the light bulb is on her.
Oh, Elon. she's been on for a couple of years now. Yeah.
Right. Elon recently, even Andrew Yang, I saw him tweet today, there's nothing wrong with leaving your party because they left you a long time ago.
Right.
This is from a Democrat contender for sure. A lot of people like him. Interesting times, Matt.
It's real. Times. I mean, it's real. What's happened? It's real, and it's fast and furious. And I don't think I don't think it's going to be a calm. You look at the story of the guy in that United. The ticket guy and the football player. We find out he's a former small-time NFL player was heading to Calgary Stampede, where he played last year. That got in a fight at the airport.
I did not see any of it. I was off the radar.
But it happened last week, but it's just coming to the news today. And it's like, this is where we are. Like people, in Chicago, the violence is escalating again, and we're not even to Memorial Weekend when it starts to get hot, right? So the tempers are going to flare when we get to the 90s again. And New York, and New York's talking about shutting down because of COVID. I mean, you cannot tell me that people are going to be like, yeah, give me a break. I mean, even people that took the jab are like, that didn't do anything. That was a waste. Even if they don't believe in all the side effects and all that jazz, right?
Well, here's my problem with all of it. Like if the Sussman and the Durham, if this trial has opened your eyes, which it has for a lot of people.
Well, it has, but still, I mean, I bet you if you ask your brother, he probably doesn't even know this case is going on.
Oh, no, absolutely he does. He absolutely does. And he understands that the Clinton campaign was incredibly dirty and that, Bernie should have won the nomination. And they stole
so now we're going to talk about who cares?
Well, wait a second, though. If you finally have come to the understanding that they lie about everything, well, then what are you basing your opinion on? Like if it's all been lies, what are you basing your opinion on? And we've been skeptical from the very beginning. And I have for a long time with the Clintons, especially the cattle trader that she is. I mean, you can't make this shit up. It's not made up. It's all right there in front of you. It's the Davos Great Narrative Conference. Why do they call it a narrative? It's not the Great Truth Conference.
And yeah, exactly. Narrative means we're just spinning lies and bullshit. I mean, anyways, the and then the whole thing again with just the fact that I don't know. It's just it gets old. Like I'm so tired of the reiteration of it's so obvious to me and no.
What doesn't lie, Matt, is the chart and price discovery and elites not trusting each other when it comes to their dwindling net worths and people abandoning ships.
Well, here's a key point. Also, the 2021 low is getting in target here. You take out last year's low, and you're really in a bear market. This is again, nobody's talking about that, but that's right around 3,600, right? Not quite.
No. Hold on, where do we go? Jan.
Right here.
Yeah, right on.
So that's coming into play, and nobody's talking about that right now. But you've got, it's kind of like if you take out yesterday's high, if you're a short-term trader, then you got to be bullish, right? Technically, well, you take out last year's low, you got to be pretty bearish. Now you have to take out the old high to be bullish again. Is really what that means. So
right, exactly. And now this is the weekly in the SPOOs continuation. Low momentum on the weekly 40-60. We like to bring it up at the beginning of the week. And now, since you mentioned it, Matt, we are ending into the end of the month.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, look at this. Those bands are fully rolled over. If they can't kick save the month here this week, that's going to be the first time.
And where would that be for? And well, it's not this week. It's actually next Tuesday because tomorrow's the 24th, and we will have one more day next week. But what would that number be for them to kick?
They would have to bring this thing back above 4,200 as far as I'm concerned.
Above 4,200, which I'm not going to say it's impossible to happen, but from here, it's pretty heavy lifting.
It seems that it would be pretty heavy, especially since, as we've seen, it seems to us that there's one high net fund, individual, whatever, that just sweeps the books on rallies.
Yeah,
sweeps it like I want out,
and that might be the FOMC as far as
put on. If they're doing it right, everyone is trading and getting
everyone.
Out. Everyone
They're putting on a short every time we get up here.
Is that one of the? Do they have like talking point groups in the World Economic Forum? How
breakout sessions?
Breakout session. Breakout session. In the World Economic Forum, how to unload all of your stock worldwide. That is at 11 o'clock, just before lunch.
Bring up Starbucks because they announced today, just like McDonald's did last week, they're pulling out of Russia. Tell me, like, if you're running this business, like, who is leaning on you to do this? Because why would you do this? Why would you, just like Wimbledon, why would you deny say the top 5 player in the world who's Russian, Medvedev? Why would you, that's coming up and you're going to deny, the one of the best players in the world a chance to play at your, what does that tell you? What does that tell you?
It tells you there.
But then Leah Thompson can swim with the girls. Is that all? Is there a narrative breakout on that also?
Well, there's a narrative breakdown is what's happening. Breakdown.
Yeah.
Breakdown. All right, Matt. I don't know what else I got. We're going to talk crypto tomorrow.
But it's interesting. But I mean, look at how much Starbucks has sold off, and now you're going to give up billions of dollars in revenues and profits. And same thing with McDonald's. Like they're doing the same thing. Look at those. Look at these charts. I mean, 124 down to 75, 70. I mean,
plenty of room, Starbucks, to get to your COVID low.
COVID lows, still
$50,
$50. In the meantime, buy Dutch Bros because we talked about it when it dipped down to 20, and look at that thing right back to 30. Take some profits, by the way, if you bought it. Take some profits. Don't be a pig.
Especially if it gets back to 36.
Especially if it gets to 36, but I'd be taking it here. I've already taken some off. I was buying it. So.
Matt, where there was a great line on the trading floor, and it was get out of half of your position and hope it's the stupidest thing you ever did in your life.
Every day.
You got to spend it. And the only way to spend it is to bank it, book it. Who wants to be a millionaire? You know, we used to play a game in the NASDAQ pit, or I didn't, my brother did. It was called Who Used to Be a Millionaire. You shared in the community about how much wealth has been destroyed in crypto land.
Yeah.
And it's like everything else, though, Matt. It was paper wealth. Those people couldn't have unloaded those crypto positions, even if they wanted to. The market wouldn't have.
No, but hopefully they unloaded 100 million and they're sitting pretty for the rest, for the next few generations. I hope.
Post-economic, we call it.
I mean, I hope they are, right?
Right on.
It's actually, right. What's that guy's name? The Ethereum, one of the founders. What's his?
Vitalik Buterin.
Yeah, so he's trying to make you feel sorry for him, cry for him now that he's only worth 700 billion or 700 million. I'm sorry, dude. I'm still not.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Yeah, or Chile.
All right. Listen, I can't recommend the show Patriot on Netflix more. If you like dark humor and you want to get an actual depiction in the world of espionage, how difficult it is just to get a bag of money from A to B, like everything else in life.
Well, here's what even in the in the hallowed halls on the Democratic side. I don't know if you saw this morning. COVID grant bill sponsored on Senate defeat. This was our best shot, right? These are liberals from that were trying to pump in more money to the restaurants that they killed by shutting them down, and they want to give them more free money, and people are just like, nah, sorry, we're done. We're not giving more money to this fucking boondoggle. So that's important. Little things like this matter.
Right on.
Somebody's standing up and going, no mas.
No mas.
How about Tampa Bay just rolling through this series up 3-0? And by the way, if you haven't seen this Battle of Alberta versus the Battle of Florida is over. Tampa Bay is moving on to the conference finals. But if you haven't seen this Battle of Alberta, Bob, oh my God, this series is furious. They hate each other. The fans hate each other. The hits in the last couple games, dude, I would not want to play hockey if that was happening to me out there. Because I'd be the guy teed up, getting laid out like that.
Right. Slow moving giant along the boards.
Oh my God. It was just some of the hits. Oh, scary.
Oh, beautiful. All right, Matt, the underpaid on gas consumption to the coast and back. I was shocked. The Winnebago Solus on the Ram 2500 Workmaster, it's getting 18 miles to the gallon.
Pretty good.
Damn good.
Yeah.
Damn good.
Yeah.
It was still, we think we paid $5.40 a gallon at one point.
Wasn't free.
Well, the good thing on the coast is they got $25 lids. So, you're saving it there. We'll cover pot stocks tomorrow, but still available, $25 lids available on the Oregon coast.
Because they're just growing more and more of that weed.
It grows like a weed, apparently. Oh,
right, when we were watching the PGA yesterday at O'Kane's outside, it was beautiful watching it outside, and we were talking about how difficult it is to win a golf tournament, but also just like the stress. Like I think out of all pro sports, golf would be the worst. Like I couldn't mentally do that. Like week in, week out, travel to a place, do a pro-am, and then get your head on to like grind. Like what a hard way to make a living. It's kind of like trading for all you people, aspiring traders. Golf is a lot like trading because most of the time, like it's pretty much a grind most of the time. And if you can't take action when that price gets to your price level, you're not going to do well in this business. It's a grind. So we continue to tell people the realities of how it is. And, again, as we come into the summer months here, we still have not even really seen any summer weather here in the Northwest. I think it's going to be
unbelievable, right?
It's going to be chilly. I mean, even looks like the highs, we're going to see 80s by Wednesday, but back to the maybe 60, but for Memorial weekend. So I don't know. I don't know when summer's going to get here, but it's no time soon.
All right, that's what we got. Please share, retweet, plagiarize far and wide.
Hey, congratulations to Courtney and Machine Gun Kelly. In case you missed the wedding live in Portofino, I was there. It was fantastic.
Their third time they've been exchanging vows. The clown world reigns.
The clown world, like why is that important?
Reigns.
Why is that important?
I don't know. It's
Don't
not. It's
Okay.
not. Join us at marketfundamentals.io. Everything said here is not trading advice. Everything also is guaranteed probably to be correct.
Hey, Bob, where do we close today? Where are we going?
What? Give me a more specific.
The S&P. Are we gonna close? You know, we're S&P has been powerful today. You know, the Nasdaq hasn't taken out the overnight highs. I tested them here just recently, but they couldn't take them out.
Right here, I got an outside chance that we go trade 4,007.
Yeah, I had 4,020 as an outside chance, but I don't know now.
I would say more likely we run and double top. They're not able to get through it, and we come back and settle right where it is right now, 64.75.
Again, you just have to. Well, the thing is, you have to look at the week balance, and we're just in the we're in the balance.
You know what? You said that on your cast today, and I had looked at it before I listened to your investigation of price discovery, and I couldn't agree more. This thing is chopping broccoli. It's in balance.
Well, we did have a nice, we did have a nice rally today. It was straight up, right? We had let me just show this. This was Friday straight up. Sundays we opened up, we came down. There was a nice little trade there, by the way, just selling that, test.
Right on.
And then it came down, and then you did it again. So there's a couple nice, and then once we opened, the crazy bulls come in and just they ramped it up. I mean, but look how light this volume is. It's brutal. It's snoozy. It is snoozy. So don't take this. There's no, again, the elites aren't buying. They're hoping that you buy so they can sell more. So just keep that in mind. What's going on here? There's no rotation to bulls yet. It's not happening. Maybe if we take out the week high, which would get us 4,100, then you might be able to see 42, 43, right? Those levels are possible again. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we go to 4,300 and trap some more suckers?
Let me ask you a question. Is it going to be a summer just like it was a winter of death and pain? What was the winter going to be? A winter of, wasn't it death?
Oh yeah, death and mayhem and blah, blah, blah.
All right.
Joe, Papa Joe,
Uncle Joe,
always giving us the good news. By the way, the Final Four is set for the NCAA lacrosse. Some fantastic lacrosse games this weekend. Princeton overcame to beat Yale. They're the first one in. Then you had Cornell beating Delaware, which was surprisingly a tight game until the end, and Cornell pulled away another Ivy. So you had two Ivies. And then, of course, you got the Big Ten. Rutgers came in and won their game. And Maryland, I just don't see anybody beating Maryland. They destroyed Virginia, who was back-to-back champs since the Ivies weren't in the NCAAs the last 2 years because they were all on break.
They were all on death and destruction of COVID protocol. Oh, my God.
Oh my God, we're all gonna die.
Oh
now
my
it's
God.
Now it's monkeypox. You kids better go home again and pay $70,000 a year to.
Well, shout out to Cornell then, and the curmudgeon Professor Dave.
Yep.
Little shout out. Congratulations, Cornell.
They look good.
So who are the lineups now? Cornell versus who?
Yeah,
now I got you pinched. I pinched him.
I didn't look.
See, it's A to B. It seems like a simple equation that he knows a lot about lacrosse.
And I don't even know. By the way, how did the Preakness turn out? How did our picks do? Because I don't even know.
I was on the coast. I was out of cell range.
This is what I'm saying. I have no idea what happened. Hold
on a second. Let's go to the call. Why wouldn't we? Of course, I can't spell. Preakness.
I haven't even looked at my chit that I called out to see if I won. But here's I think Cornell is going to, end their season probably if they have to play Maryland. I'm trying to bring up the bracket here, and why can't I find it? Give me the bracket. Give me the bracket.
Interstated Daydream, Matt. Interstated Daydream.
Yeah, we got Maryland playing Princeton, and we got Cornell and Rutgers. So we got I was kind of hoping for the Battle of New Jersey, but that would have been Rutgers Princeton. But we're going to go upstate New York and Rutgers. I'm going to, my son asked me yesterday, who you rooting for? I said, I would like to see a Rutgers Maryland matchup. I think Princeton's good, but I just don't think nobody has the defense. I mean, look at this. Look at Maryland did, yesterday to Virginia. 17. What did they win? What was the final in that game? 18-9, Bob. I mean, they doubled them. And then Cornell snuck by the Delaware Blue Hens. By the way, the Blue Hens, what a great nickname. Blue Hens.
Are there futures on Blue Hens? Shortage of chicken this summer for sure.
That's right. Well,
all right, Matt. That's what we got. Thank you.
And again,
so much.
it's because your brother in the monkeypox, like he's eating chicken like I don't know what.
All right.